Here is the English version of the news story, written based on Outline A with 5 parts and preserving the narrative tone, inspirational Christian style, and deep emotional storytelling similar to the original Maya story. This version also introduces new valuable spiritual insights for the listener. Part 1. When the night feels permanent. Jasmine hadn't cried in years, not because the pain stopped, but because she'd grown used to it, like wallpaper in a broken down room. After years of abuse, betrayals, and sleeping in shelters, the pain had simply become background noise. The night it all broke was one of those nights where the darkness felt thicker. The city noise seemed quieter. Even the neon signs outside her window had dimmed, as if the world had given up trying to entertain her. She sat in the corner of the tiny room she rented by the hour, knees to chest, arms wrapped around herself. Not because she was cold, but because she didn't want to fall apart. No food, no job, no hope, and worst of all, no voice inside telling her it would be okay. She whispered into the silence. Open quote. God, if you're even real, if you see me, please, I don't want to live like this anymore. I don't want to die like this either. If you help me, I'll live for you. I'll give you my whole life, even if it's broken, even if it's worthless. Close quote. It wasn't a fancy prayer, but it was honest. And heaven listens to honest prayers. That night, nothing changed on the outside, but inside something shifted. She'd made a covenant, even if she didn't know the word for it. She offered herself to the God she didn't yet know, and that's when her journey began. Part 2. A small door that swung wide. The next day, Jasmine got a call. A woman named Ruth, a cousin of someone she vaguely remembered, needed help in a bakery, washing dishes, cleaning the floor. Minimum wage, no benefits. Jasmine said yes before even hearing the details. Her covenant pushed her to accept even the smallest door. The bakery was warm, filled with the scent of cinnamon, and surprisingly, joy. Ruth was different. She sang hymns while mixing dough. She prayed over her staff. She didn't just talk about God, she walked with him. Jasmine worked silently, but she watched. Over the weeks, something began to happen. A customer came in one morning, broken from a family crisis. Jasmine, without thinking, offered her a cup of tea and said, "You're not alone. It's not over." The woman broke down. "No one said that to me in years," she whispered. Ruth noticed. Later that night, she told Jasmine, "You carry something, child. You've been marked. That kind of compassion doesn't come from brokenness. It comes from healing, even if you haven't realized it yet." Jasmine didn't feel healed, but she remembered her covenant, and she kept showing up. Part 3, the divine transfer. One afternoon, Ruth sat her down. "I'm leaving the city," she said gently. "The Lord is calling me elsewhere, and he told me something unusual. He wants me to leave the bakery in your hands." Jasmine froze. "Me? I'm not qualified. I'm not even good at baking." "You are faithful," Ruth replied, "and that's what God blesses." It didn't make sense, but then again, neither did grace. The transition wasn't easy. Jasmine stumbled, burned the bread a few times, and forgot orders. But the regulars stayed. They said there was something about her presence, calm, kind, healing. She began playing soft worship music in the background, left prayer cards by the register. One day, a man came in with a suicide note in his pocket and left with a cinnamon roll, a prayer, and hope. Her covenant wasn't just changing her. It was changing the atmosphere around her. Part 4, the test of love and forgiveness. The past has a way of circling back. One evening, Jasmine saw a face she never thought she'd see again, her stepfather, the man who broke her childhood with his fists and lies. He looked old, sick, lost. He didn't recognize her at first, but when he did, he froze. She could see the fear in his eyes. I'm sorry," he muttered. "I don't expect anything. I was just hungry." Jasmine stood still. Her heart screamed, but her spirit whispered, open quote, "Set the prisoner free, both him and yourself." Close quote. She handed him a sandwich. "You're forgiven," she said softly, "and you're not alone." He wept, not because of guilt, but because he saw someone he broke offering him grace he didn't deserve. That's when Jasmine realized her covenant wasn't about her success. It was about her surrender. Part 5, from ashes to a lighthouse. The bakery became more than a shop. It was a sanctuary. People came for bread and stayed for peace. Homeless women were trained there. Addicts found prayer there. She didn't preach. She simply lived the gospel. One day, a young girl came in, ragged, bruised, scared. Jasmine saw her own eyes in that girl. She gave her a job, a room, a future. The covenant had come full circle. Jasmine began speaking in churches, not with theology, but with tears. She said, open quote, "You don't need a perfect life to make a promise to God. You just need an honest heart and a willingness to say yes." Close quote. Her story spread, but she didn't want fame. She only wanted others to know, I am not a success story. I am a covenant story. I gave God my broken pieces, and He gave me a new life. Closing reflection for listeners. If you're in the middle of your darkest chapter, if your prayers feel like whispers into the void, if you feel like you have nothing left to give, let Jasmine's story remind you, God doesn't need perfect vessels. He wants surrendered ones. Make a covenant, even if all you have is a whisper. Give Him your little, and He will show you a breakthrough that's not just for you, but for generations after you. Would you like me to create a voiceover-ready script, generate images, or YouTube video description for this story next?